These cold nights are making it feel like fall now, and I decided to try to get in the mood for Halloween, so I decided to make a gnome pumpkin. I found a artwork online at So Fancy, where I usually buy all my artworks, and it was a multi-layer artwork, and I decided to cut it from different colors of acrylic that I had, and I'm using the xTool P2 CO2 laser here because it just does such a beautiful job on the acrylic. You can see perfect cuts every time, and I'm just going to run you through cutting out all these parts, but no burning edges, no nothing. They got the air assist working really good on it to cut acrylic, and it's adjustable and stuff, so decided to cut it with that. One mistake I made though was I try to keep the slots wide when cutting acrylic because it builds up on the slots pretty bad, and you'll see right there pieces actually turn sideways when you do that, so you have to pause it. That's a good thing. Luckily you just hit pause, take the pieces out that fell, and just go right back to where you left off, as long as you don't move anything. So that's a good thing, but I'm gonna have to put the slats back in, all of them, for the rest of the parts. It would be nice if there was a honeycomb that fit this, so you didn't have to worry about stuff like this. I think acrylic cuts better over honeycomb. It's a thinner surface that doesn't, build up on. But anyhow, I had the problem again there. But I did learn from this, and I, put the rest of the slats back in. So here it is, first part cut out, second part actually. And you can see everything just pops right out, comes apart. And there's the next layer of it. Now the colors that I used are, not exactly the best, but it's a color of the acrylic that I had bought. I bought a big assortment way back when I started playing with the lasers, and I'm just trying to use what colors that I have, but eventually I'd like to get, some new colors to play with. And again, I did turn these are 12 by 12 sheets, and I turned them on a 45-degree angle and cut the corners off to get as big a artwork as I could on them. I could have turned the artwork 45 degrees too and left the sheet square, but I just decided to do it this way. I figured it would be easiest for me. You can see they're in the machine at 45. I just clipped the corners off, and again, you can see every cut pretty much is perfect, just as good as the last one. Not one problem. I just used the standard xTool block acrylic settings, and it cut every color that I put in there with no problem whatsoever. Did a beautiful job. No, nice edges, no melting, no burning on the paper. And xTool Creative Space is so easy to use. I'm starting to really like that. So easy to load up a thing, hit cut, go over, hit the button on the laser, and you're up and running, cutting. So there's what's starting to come together and look like. And again, here's another part that I'm cutting out now. Just these multiple layers. I just wanted to show you the accuracy of this machine. And all these layers have to line up in the end. And again, everything just came right apart. Really pretty amazing that the settings, they work so good on every color material. And this laser is so much faster at cutting acrylic. I mean, you can cut certain colors, but you can't cut like whites like this with a diode laser. So, if you're going to do a lot of acrylic work, I definitely would recommend this. And as I said, that xTool Creative Space, I'll show you in the end how I, set it up to do this. But basically, just send your part. All the cameras work and everything with that. So I don't even miss light burn when using this anymore. At first I did because I knew light burn better, but now that I'm getting familiar with the Creative Space, I really like that, and I really like to be able to go right from using the CO2 to using the laser diode type laser. And again, this is another layer. Came out perfect, and here's what I did. The artwork that I bought had all the layers there, and they were separate, so I had to resize the whole thing at once to make it fit on this machine. And then these layers, you just drag them to the machine, and you ignore them or you output them. So that's what I do. I turn off all the ones I don't want to cut and just turn on the one I want to cut and send it to the laser. And that's how I wound up with this. And it's time to spread them all out here and put them together. Now that big background there, you can see I put a coat of paint on it. I want a little bit contrasting to the other orange that I had. I didn't want it to be the same. I could have used some different colors, but like I said, I used what I had, and I think it came out great. Now I'm just going to put some super glue in all the areas that are wide enough to accept super glue without, having it squeeze out and run over. And then carefully line these up, and if the machine did a good job, they're all going to line up, and everything's going to be perfect. First put on that, and we'll put on the bats in the black. So far it looks so good, you can see. And then it's time to put on the orange in the front. And again, you can see just how beautiful and accurate this thing cut. And this one here, when I was pulling the paper off it, I actually broke the one piece off of it. So I have two pieces here to glue on, but nobody will know the difference. It was a real thin piece, and I just yanked too hard and snapped. But I'm not going to worry about it. It's in an area where you won't see it at all when it goes together. So that's it, super glue. I lined it up. I didn't use the accelerator on the super glue because I wanted a little bit of time to move it, to line it and stuff. And let's get the last piece on here. And again, I just used super glue. I'm not sure what else you could use. You could probably use a spray adhesive if you wanted, but. And just give it a little pat with a flat piece of wood to make sure everything's down, and there it is. I think it really came out great, and you know how my wife loves a gnome, so she'll really like it too. And everything lined up perfectly. It was just fun to get down and use the laser again for a while. It had been quite a while, and I'm going to make a backlight for it like that eventually, and it'll be cool to hang on the wall. I just thought I'd share this with you. Having a little bit of fun today, and came up with this, and the fun quick project, and I was able to buy the artwork for fairly cheap from the So Fancy, and I think it came out fantastic. And xTool is having a special big sale starting the 20th, I think, and I just wanted to get this out before then. I'll put some links to their sale prices and stuff that they have big discounts on, in case you're interested. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.